I'm a revert sister who is married with 2 kids. I have Islamic studies throughout the week consisting of 5 classes and 16 hours in total. However, I'm worried I'm not giving my children their rights. I don't want to play with them because I'm busy with my classes and my household chores. What should my priorities be as a Muslim mother?
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala abdillahi wa rasulih. Nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. There's no doubt that our children have a huge right upon us, and that we have to balance that right with the other obligations and other activities that we take part in. One option for this is to involve our children in those activities. So when you are studying Arabic and Quran and Tajweed and Hifth, involve your children in that to a greater or lesser degree. That doesn't mean they have to do the same coursework as you. It could be that they do something very simple alongside you. It could be that they help you in your work, like bringing you your notes or sitting down with you and things like that. However, it's also very, very important that you give time to play with them and you give time to build a bond with them. Your children are the greatest investment that you will make. They require an immense amount of work, an immense responsibility in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jal. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyatih." Every one of you is a shepherd and every one of you will be asked about your flock. So this has to be something that takes precedence even over study of Islam at times. Because the study of Islam is divided into 2 parts. There is a part that is an essential obligation and there is a part that is a voluntary act of nearness to Allah. And looking after your children is an obligation in the sight of Allah and a responsibility. So it doesn't make sense to increase in the voluntary aspects of seeking knowledge at the expense of the obligatory aspect of looking after your children. But ideally you want to find ways to find synergy and to join those 2 things together so that you don't have to give up your seeking of knowledge. I think the number of hours that you mentioned per week and the number of studies is very reasonable. And inshallah, I would not like to see you give any of that up. However, it is really important to give some time for the children, especially times where you know they want to play. It could be particular times of the day or where you know they need your attention. It is sometimes helpful to involve them in your studies, but your children have to have a certain amount of priority. At the same time, we don't want to shift that priority to such an extent that it becomes that you are playing with your children but not memorizing Quran, nor learning Arabic, nor Tajweed, nor Hifth. But we have to remember the reason we are learning. We are learning to implement and practice and to be better Muslims. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jal, He said in Surah Al-Zumar, أَمَّنْ هُوَ قَانِتٌ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ سَاجِدًا وَقَائِمًا يَحْذَرُ الْآخِرَةَ وَيَرْجُو رَحْمَةَ رَبِّهِ قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the surah, as for the one who is standing throughout the night in prostration and in a position of standing, fearing the hereafter and hoping in the mercy of their Lord, is the one who knows equal to the one who doesn't. So Allah made knowledge or defined knowledge as standing at night in prayer. He didn't define knowledge as the amount of things that you know. It's not the amount of information that you keep in your head, but it's what you do with it. And so if that information isn't making you a better mom and a better wife, then it's not doing its job. So it's really important to see the knowledge you learn as a way to improve your practicing, to become a better wife and a better mom. And so it's about balancing your responsibilities. Don't give up your studies. Don't cut down on the amount that you're doing, but realize that the goal of those studies is to practice what you implement and to make you a better wife and a better mom. And try to involve your children in those studies. For example, it could be revision, where you tell them a story based on what you studied in a tafsir class, or where you help them to memorize a small surah of the Quran, which you had already memorized. And likewise, give them time to play and expect the reward from Allah for that. And Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best.